Rundown for tonight. For show start 8:05. We got Flyers beat Montreal. We have talk about Tocchet's new system or Tocchet's system in general, which we've talked about previously, but seems to have come up a little bit more recently.
Yeah.
Right? Like we talked about that maybe a couple weeks ago. Interesting. Some injuries. That article. Who I don't want to really name the person that wrote the article.
Is it hold on, Hockey Writers?
Yeah,
I read it. It's fucking retarded. But
yeah, I didn't.
I think I put that in the notes because I was just jotting shit down.
Yeah, I didn't.
Go ahead.
No, it's the dude that wrote that always has the weirdest takes. I can't believe they put that out. Like I can't believe the editor saw that and was like, "Yeah."
It just makes so many people are roasting that shit.
Yeah, it's rough. Talk about Vladar a little bit. Biggest concerns. A lot of topics. Definitely Zegras. Like we saw last night, how important he is for this team. And we'll talk about it during the show, but it's gonna be another like Zegras segment, I think. And then Bobby Brink.
Bobby.
2 more goals, Jack. And then undefeated in shootouts still, which is insane.
Dude, Zegras is retarded.
So, all right, 8:05. You guys got a little glimpse into our topic rundown, and Jack and I kind of did a little pre-show interlude. So, once I get the startup song, or can I not play it since we're already live?
I don't know. We'll let you.
Here we go. All right, let's get started here.
Let's get it started.
What's up, you beauties? Welcome to another episode of HW Hockey. You can find us on YouTube, and you can listen to us as a podcast on Apple Podcast or Spotify. This is episode, I don't even know, but it's season 8. The Flyers are, what are we, 3 weeks into the season now? We have copious amounts of talking points, of topics. There's fan concern. Flyers pull off a huge upset, if you will, the other night against the Canadiens. We're going to dive deep into that game because there's a lot to talk about there. I want to talk about Cutter Gauthier, obviously. Some of the decisions. A lot of people are questioning Danny Briere's choices. I'm seeing in the chat there's something about Bouillon as well. We can touch on that. But, Jack, a lot to get to. And as always, look, Twitter's meant for overreacting, right?
Yeah.
And I hate to be the guy to pull everybody back to 0, right? Because we like to go 0 to 100, or we like to get negative real quick, and that's okay. That's fun. It's fun to be emotional, So where do we want to start with this? Do we want to dive right in to the Twitter outrage and kind of, walk it into the Montreal Canadiens game? And, the Flyers are currently 7-5-1, which not bad. I don't think anybody really expected that. There's just a lot that I want to get to kind of pull everyone back down and relax, take a breath. I know Cutter Gauthier just had a hat trick. He's going to score a lot of goals, Cutter Gauthier. No one ever said he wasn't going to do that, right? So where do you want to – let me ask you, Jack, where do you want to start tonight?
I think we should start with the Twitter outrage, and particularly, I guess we should knock Cutter out of the way since Flyers Purgatory snuck in, made the first comment, and it was a hefty comment indeed. What else we got here? He follows it up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, he did have a hat trick the other night. This comment by Flyers Purgatory here: trading Cutter ruined Danny, led to taking Jet over Bynum. I don't necessarily disagree with that, but it's not like Cutter was a center. However, I do think there were factors that led to that move. Mainly the agent involved was a major factor. You have Jet, and so now you take Martone. I love the kid, love him too. You know how I felt about Hagens. 3 years in, no 1D, no 1C, and lost out on what looks like a goal guy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. His hands were tied. And until it comes out what actually went down, which I don't know why Cutter refuses to tell his story if he was didn't do anything wrong here. I don't know.
I think he's looking. Look, I'm just going to interject real quick. I think he thinks he's doing the right thing by not coming out. Because
why would that be?
Well, it would make him look like an ass to throw the Flyers under the bus.
But they've already technically thrown him under the bus.
Right. So who looks better?
He doesn't look good.
But I mean, throwing somebody under the bus publicly is not a great look. Right? Can we say that?
Hold on. Yes. However, Flyers had to answer for what happened to their fans. They couldn't stay silent. They had to say something. Sure. You turn around and just trade this, fifth overall pick. So I think they had to say something. Some of this, it wasn't like it was sunshine and rainbows, what they said.
Totally, yeah.
But they had to trade him out of nowhere, and it was Cutter's decision. So they did have to say something. If you want to take issue with how they said it, I get that. I understand that.
But was it damage control, though?
I think any situation like that, there's going to be some form of damage control for sure. You have to explain yourself. If they turned around and traded Porter Martone tomorrow, you'd have to know why. It wouldn't come out of the blue, especially when you see the return. Drysdale at the time was definitely very low value and a second-round pick. Like with Cutter's tearing it up at World Juniors and whatnot and all that. Like the value itself, you have to explain the trade value. You have to explain what's going on. I personally loved it. The guy didn't want to be here. You could roast him all you want if you're me. I could give a shit what the organization looks like, to be honest. Sure. Now I'm not saying launch a nuke on the kid, but say something.
As Flyers fans, and this is who they were, the only people that they cared about were Flyers fans. So like big picture, like new regime had to do damage control because you just lost at the time your best prospect, and he didn't want to play here. And now it's kind of like, shit, right out of the gates, we got to do damage control. And so how do we keep the fans that we have, whoever's left, and instead of coming out with their tail between their legs saying, we lost a top guy, he didn't want to play here, we have to move on. They made a huge spectacle of it, which is fine. It got Flyers fans all riled up.
I mean, it was going to be a huge spectacle regardless.
But from the league-wide consensus is that's not a great look.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the league-wide consensus on a lot of things, and I could give a rat's ass with the league.
And that's fine. And that's fine. But as long as you understand that, like, throwing a kid under the bus is not a great look.
I don't think it's necessarily just that. I don't think it's, they tossed him under the bus.
Well, they did, though.
No, I think they had to explain themselves, and it's impossible not to throw him under the bus.
But that's the thing, and that comes back to the original thing. They gave their side, but Gauthier never really gave his side.
Only one reason I can think that would be, and I think I know what you're saying. Well, if he just stays quiet, he looks good. He took the high road. It's like, well, they already threw you under the bus. You are more than welcome to sell your side of the story and defend yourself. My suspicion is he's going to look like a complete jackass because if he can explain to me, and I don't think there's a world where this is possible, how the Flyers, LeClaire, Sharp, all those guys go to visit him, and he can't even give them the time of day. These are legends. Sharp's got 3 Stanley Cups to his name. LeClaire's in the American Hall of Fame. Like, dude, you can't even just give him, hey, I appreciate you coming out. I'm just not interested. Couldn't even do that. It's so dirtbag. Like it screams like entitled asshole. Right. Like, I'm sorry, but like to me, defend yourself for that because the perception right now, it's not like they made anything up. That happened.
But why release that though?
Well, you can't because you're gonna look like a jackass.
No, like from Flyers' point of view, because don't get me wrong, like, we all want to sit here and believe that they're telling us the truth, but why let everybody know that that's what was happening?
For me personally, to let them know,
you go to
because what you just said, I'm sure that's definitely one way you can look at it. But from what you just said about the previous regime, but keeping any fans they still had, how bad things were under Dave Scott and Chuck Fletcher and even Hextall, how bad that time was, and now we're trying to turn over a new leaf. You can't be losing even more fans. You can't. Right. You have to tell them the truth, which is what they said they were going to do and be transparent. yeah, they can be a little ticked off about it because they probably had a plan that got a huge wrench thrown into it and had to make do. And you're clearly losing value on the trade, which stings horrifically. And it's like, I don't.
Well, they left a little bit out, I guess, is what I'm saying.
So hold on. So I'm sure they did, because there's always three sides to the story.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And Gauthier is not mentioning the reason why. This is what I'm saying.
And the only reason it makes sense for him to not come out and tell his side of the story is it will make him look worse.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And no, because of what he says, not because he defended himself. Because sometimes
he's still a kid, and it's like, who the hell are you to say this stuff? Like, he still has. He's got a career ahead of him still.
Never set foot on NHL ice. And he's making demands and shit. Like, completely.
And here's the thing. And this is what
the draft process.
But this is what I want to say. Right?
I was born to be a Flyer, Jim. Born to be a Flyer. That's what he said. Defend that.
So what changed? So what changed?
How are you born to be something, and what happened that you just changed?
This is what I'm trying to get out. So what would have changed?
I don't know. I guess he was wrong with where he was born or something, because
no.
it must be something massive to say I was born to be a Flyer, to I want out before you ever set foot on the ice.
And so here you go. And I think we talked about it before. So I think Chuck Fletcher was GM at the time, right? And they promised him a certain amount of bonus money.
Allegedly.
Okay. I mean, it's allegedly what the Flyers are saying too.
They came out and publicly said that?
What?
That they offered him. Go ahead, finish your point.
No, but we're saying, like, they're putting things out to make them look great and Cutter look bad. Like, we have to.
His agent too, not just Cutter.
Right. And so we kind of have to.
Overfart, I think it is.
We got to, like, kind of stay in the middle, like, see both sides kind of thing. Like, and so.
Well, you know me, I'm old school, man. And it's
like
playing in the league is a privilege.
Sure.
Any of this crap is just that crap.
Sure. But kids today, they know they're going to play in this league. They know that they're good enough thing. And it's just the way it is.
Hey, I bet now Yakupov thought he was awfully good. I bet he thought he was going to be real good.
Sure.
Yeah. Look, I don't want to spend too much time on it, because you can see him.
Well, I still want to get to, like, why he hasn't said anything.
Go ahead.
So, was promised a certain amount of bonus money. I think that year, Fletcher was let go. Briere was promoted. They signed Noah Cates. And I don't know if they gave Noah Cates too much bonus money, but long story short, they didn't have the amount that was promised to Gauthier to then sign him. And they also, the new regime said, hey, we want you to work your way up like this, the same way they're doing with Jet, the same way they're doing with whoever. Spend some time in Lehigh Valley, and then we'll, work your way up. Right. And I think you heard on, if you guys listen,
it should be done, but yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Right.
Promised something. I get it.
Right. So he was promised one thing, things changed. And I don't know, as a kid or whoever, he felt some kind of way. And I'm not saying he's right or wrong. Right. But if someone tells you one thing, and then another guy comes around and tells you another thing, as an employee, you're going to be kind of pissed, right? You're going to be like, well, what the hell is this?
Yeah. Look, we all have jobs. We all deal with it, and we make significantly less. And he's crying over, like, some early money. He's going to make millions upon millions in his career. Like, my God. And what, are you not tuned into the Flyers that Fletcher's probably on his way out? You have no idea what's going on from the team that drafted you, that you were born to play for. You have no clue what could be going on. I just, if it really is just some kind of, a couple 100,000 here or there, I guess because he's a kid at the beginning of his career, but he's so good, he's going to make, for a kid from who's making nothing, but you're still going to make something. You're still going to make a lie. So you had the opportunity to make the team, according to the rumors, which would have definitely set you up, and he probably would have made it. Because he was promised it. He didn't feel like he had to try out for it and spurn them for a whole year. Like, I get what you're saying, but at the end of the day, talk about childish. And I don't know what the people around him are saying. They're probably telling him he's the greatest too, and he's a jerk off. This kind of stuff that the Flyers did, it's acting like allegedly, like it's just came out of nowhere. Wow, I can't believe a team would do that. This shit happens all the time, everywhere, and only this jerk off demanded, I'll never talk to you again, trade my ass. Like, what the that's fucked. And the only reason he kept quiet is so they didn't let him rot in college. So he had to wait 4 years before he could finally make some money. So they actually make a trade for the guy and get something worth it. Like, I don't understand. I get being upset with the Flyers. I get being upset with at least a little bit the regime change, but the full-blown defense of this guy baffles me. Look how good he's playing right now. He was worried about making money. Seriously, that's just stupid.
Well, I mean, we see it in all sports.
More and more. I'll give you that.
These kids want to play right away. They don't want to go to a development league or whatever. And look, based off what we saw from Gauthier last year, he didn't need to go to the AHL.
I don't even think he could have because of how old he was. Like, he wasn't 20 coming in.
Yeah, you're right. He was 19.
He would have had an opportunity. He would have had an opportunity to make the team. He probably would have made the team, but he wanted it guaranteed. Hey, fuck you. Like, sorry. It's just, are you kidding me? Like, it irks me to my core. I get it. They're getting more and more like that. But, geez, talking about title, J.O. It's not like you can't play in the NHL. Nobody said that. So you just got to earn it. That's a big deal now? That's a deal breaker? God, ridiculous.
I guess. All right. And so anyways, let's get back to the what people are kind of flipping out about now. So Gauthier's off to a hot start this year. Now, in the beginning of the year, scored a lot of goals against a lot of bad teams, and they still count. They're still NHL goals. Last night, and this is where, things are popping off a little bit, Gauthier records a hat trick. I believe it was against the Florida Panthers. I was watching that game, and I don't know if I fell asleep or what happened, but it was 2-2 when I was watching. I think it ended up like 7-something to 2. I don't remember. But anyways, Gauthier, hat trick, 10 goals in 12 games, 16 points, 12 games. +9. I don't know if that's going to continue. I don't know if he can maintain that. He's getting like 5 to 7 shots a night, shooting anytime he touches the puck, which, good for him.
Would not fit in Tocchet's offense with all those shots.
Yeah, and that's interesting. So looking forward to talking about that. But where I'm getting a little frustrated is right now it's easy to say Flyers lost that trade. Right? Because Gauthier looks great. He looks good. We wish we had him on our team.
Yes, and that's part of the reason I'm so angry. Like, it's not just because of that. It's because this shouldn't happen. This is you are bad in the draft. You're bad in the league. You have a low draft pick. You use these kind of picks to rebuild your team. So when they do this stuff, it eats away at the core of like what makes the league work, and it's very irritating. It's like, man, could you imagine Michkov and him and Martone and potentially Zegras because he was still potentially available? Like, oh God. Like, yes, that's why I'm angry. And there was a domino effect as Flyers Purgatory brought up. Maybe we're not trading for Jamie Drysdale. Maybe we're looking at something else with somebody else. And maybe we're looking at Rossi. Maybe we're looking for a defenseman elsewhere, something like that. It is a butterfly effect to that. And it's very, very irritating. Very irritating. But, I'm not upset with where our team's at. It's just to see what he's doing is like eye roll because like you said at the beginning of this with Twitter, it's all going to come out. Everybody's going to start freaking out. And sure enough, that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah, and there's accounts out there that are doing it for clicks to get people outraged, to create, drama. And that's fine. Gives us something to talk about. To say that the Flyers have lost this trade already, I think is a little bit too soon. Yeah, Gauthier's having early success and will probably have continued success. But Drysdale's starting to come into his own. Like, I don't have look, would it be nice to have a guy with 10 goals in 12 games? Yeah, absolutely. But I'm still excited watching Drysdale. I'm still excited to watch him progress. I think we can look back in 10 years, and say, okay, yeah, Anaheim really won that trade. But I don't think we're there yet.
And Jack Murtaugh, too, is
Murtaugh's playing. He's playing well.
And you follow Jim's updates. You'll see all that stuff there. And it's good stuff, man, because I never had that stuff with previous prospects. But look, I mean, at the end of the day, this is true. Danny inherited a total disaster. Let's not forget about that. There was a lot going on with that front office, that team, that everything. So, yeah, I mean, I'm trying not to think about it too much. It got brought up. It is what it. I mean, guy scores a hat trick, and he's already. I think is he tied for the lead in goals?
He might. He might lead. He might be tied. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Is it with Cole Caulfield? Because that's just like a double whammy.
I think it is actually. Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah. I mean, look, York's great. Yeah, I really like York, but you know where I felt on that draft as well. It just is what it is. And those are the two teams we have the most beef with right now. Neither are in our division. It's just, Montreal's
Okay,
worse.
so
Montreal's worse.
let's move on a little bit then. Let's talk about Montreal a little bit. So, for whatever, I mean, I always look forward to playing Montreal in Montreal. I love the atmosphere up there. I love the city. I like the people. The fans are fun. They're kind of like they're like Philly, but they're just a little bit more like asshole. Like there's something about
Well,
Montreal.
they're original. Like there's
Yeah.
the original 6. They think they're the original 1. You know, they're the original Yankees. Like that.
Yeah.
That I'm sure that's all embedded. It's their birthright that they're good, just like
Yeah.
the Yankees fans are. And I get it. They're original 6 team, and they ran the gauntlet. You know, back when plumbers played against six total teams. But it is what it is.
Yeah. So they have this whole thing with Michkov and Demidov, and it's weird because
Funny,
you know,
Reinbacher's not mentioned in that.
right. Like I like watching Montreal. I think they've done a great job with their rebuild. I think they're just a fun team right now.
They are. It's a shame too because they are putting the puck in the net like no other.
But I don't look at their team and I'm like, man, like I wish we drafted this guy over that guy. It's just like, hey, the chips fell where they fell. You know, I'm very happy that we drafted Michkov, and look, if they drafted Demidov, fine. They drafted Reinbacher, who can't seem to make his way into an NHL roster. I don't care about that. I don't care.
It's so funny that you say that because we didn't care when we were just happy we got Michkov. When we selected York over Caulfield, we didn't call out Montreal fans. We were yelling at our own management. Like they're just weird like that.
It is very weird. But it's created in Montreal, Philly. I feel like there was always some kind of a rivalry there, but there's definitely a rivalry here. Like I think the players know it, but the fans definitely know that there's now a rivalry. And I think Flyers fans, we need to stop saying what's Montreal's deal. Like it's on now. Do you know what I mean? Like this is happening. So last night was fun. So Flyers go up 3-0 early, like within the first 5 minutes. 2 power play goals, 2 goals from Bobby Brink, and then 1 from Cam York, Jack. And this comes back to me for Trevor Zegras, who they need to sign yesterday. Like he's making Cam York look good on the power play. Did you see that goal?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
that was beautiful. It's like he's got eyes in the back of his head, man.
That's a $10 million goal right there, man. They got to get him done now. Don't wait anymore because the more he plays, the more he does these behind the back no look passes to make Cam York look good on the power play. That price is only going to go up. Get it done.
It's true. I mean, I understand waiting, but if they signed him tomorrow, I wouldn't be upset about it either. Like, what else are you going to do with all that money? That's my thing. You're going to make a big trade. Well, that's going to take cap off. And you're still going to have plenty of cap. You're going to go in free agency. Well, that dried up faster than a desert. Like it's why not? If you can get a deal, if it's no deal on the table, then don't worry about it. But if you can get what you perceive to be a deal, what's he on pace for? He's got they played.
I think he's got 15 and 12, 4 goals, 11 assists. I'm
15 points in 12 games. So, I mean, like he's in the 90, 100 point range. But, depending on what they get, but from what I understand, they're not there yet. And I understand it from both sides. But if there's an opportunity, jump all over that.
Yeah, they need to, I don't know, the sooner the better, because I don't see a reason why that it's going to stop anytime soon. The Flyers have guys that can get pucks to the net, and even guys like Bobby Brink now and Cam York. Like, dude, they have a guy that's making other players better. I think Bobby Brink's almost at a point per game. Let me check.
Yeah, there's a lot of players.
Or you want me to save it? 9 points in 13 games. Bobby Brink. 5. I think he's tied for the team lead in goals.
Yeah, I mean. I think it's 5, right?
5.
Yeah, that's it. Tippett, because Tippett hasn't done anything since that, including whiffing on wide open shots. Brink is really coming to his own. Like it's unbelievable that people, said they hated his skating. Use the word hate, and how I wouldn't say he's the greatest skater. He definitely has a strange stride, but it works for him. And that whole, even without Forster, like it's not like just the line. Like he's just a guy. He's good in shootouts too. Like he's really coming to his own. Talk about taking a step forward. We saw it last year. We're seeing it this year. You know what? When a guy does that, like 2 years ago, you go back to him forcing their hand when they're like, okay, well, Forster's going to make the team. And Brink is like, I'm going to make the team too. And it's like, what is going on? Like he really, and every year. And, there's a couple of guys who are, lower in the lineup, but there are a couple of guys who are doing that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm at the point now, and Zach O took the words right out. Next time Tippett gets on a little bit of a run, maybe move him, see what you can get. Hopefully Buffalo and Vancouver keep losing out. Maybe there's a deal there. They have too many wingers, and I think I already know who I like. And Brink is one of them, along with Forster, obviously Michkov. Zegras might end up being a winger, and Martone's on the way. So, I mean, you got it. Somebody's got to go. And I don't want to trade Brink. I would have done it last year. Would have done it the year before. And now I'm at the point. I'm like, this guy's just too valuable. He just chips in when he needs to, And Dan, I didn't say it. I did not say it, but Knightley here, he says it. Yeah, he's off. Konechny's off to a slow start, to say the least. In a year that he was saying he wants to make Team Canada. Well, I don't even think he would make their practice squad at this point. Not to get off topic, but we were talking about wingers.
Yeah, and I hate to again. I hate to be the guy, but I don't really have an issue with Konechny. Yeah, we expect more because he's making more. I expect it just to come. He's got 10 points in 13 games, and he was. I think he had no points in his first 4.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
It's what are we upset about?
Point wise, there's look. I think it's his overall play. He's not playing the same way Konechny plays. Like he's not getting. I mean, now everybody was playing the right way last night, but there are certain games where he's not going to the gritty areas. He's not getting in front of the net. He's not getting under people's skin. But again, 12 games. 12 games. I think a lot of people are equating these 12 games and then like last year's like I don't know however many games really had like 3 goals or whatever. It's also year 1 of the 8-year deal. So that kind of turns up the anxiety, I guess, towards what could be going on there. But at the end of the day, points are
little things is what it is.
At the end of the day, points are points, and that's really what matters. We'll see. If he can get going, then what does it matter? I mean, maybe he just needed to get on the score sheet and, we'll see. I mean, he's sometimes he's making mistakes with the puck that I'm not typically used to seeing him do. But hey, it's early still, so
yeah, new coach, new system. Look, if we're gonna give Michkov a pass, Konechny gets a pass. Well,
yeah, he's earned it.
I'm not worried about any of these guys 12, 13 games into a new coaching tenure because they're finding their way, they're figuring things out. New system, offensively, defensively. Power play looks pretty good. PK's been pretty good. And we'll get into Tocchet's whole thing in a second. But I'm not overreacting about Konechny the same way I'm not going to overreact about Michkov, who I am honestly a little bit more worried about, to tell you the truth. Like the same way I think we were talking about Michkov last week, where I'm not worried it's going to come. He's a superstar. I'm not worried about TK either. I've seen enough from TK in the last 3-4 years to know who TK is. It's going to come.
Yeah, no, I think the only difference there is he's still getting the minutes. He's a veteran. He's been in the league for however long. I get it. Where Michkov's being he's being put on lines with like Dvorak and Obels, and it's like, okay, make something happen. It's like, look, I know he needs to come out of his stretch a little bit here, and that pass he made in overtime really irked the shit out of me, and among other things. But he's also not getting the ice time, which is a little irritating. But you can make an argument either way. I get it. I think that when it comes to Konechny is what he's making and what you're depending on him to be. And it's not like it's year 5 of that 8-year deal. It's year 1. But I'm not there either. It's 12 games. I'm just saying where I think it's coming from.
Yeah. Second on the team in points.
Subtly, Jim just, yeah.
What are you going to do? It's fact or fact. Look, I get it. If you want to say he's making mistakes, he doesn't usually make, I think, okay, that's something to look at. What's going on there.
Let's keep an eye on it.
Sure. All right. So let's kind of get more into, Tocchet's system a little bit here. We talked Konechny, we talked Brink, we talked Zegras, Tocchet's system. So we've talked, I think it was either last week or the week before, or even the very opening week of the season. Like, I remember being excited to watch this team because they have a lot of guys that can put the puck in the net. And we talked about a handful of them already, right? Over the summer, we heard that, Cam York was going to be activated more offensively, walking the blue line, yada, yada. Jamie Drysdale resurgence, things like that. So I was excited for the first game. And then I saw them play, and I was like, oh, wait. This is the way Tocchet's teams play. They're very tough to play against in the tough areas, get to the middle of the ice, the hard spaces to play against, things like that. I didn't know that his teams are historically bottom of the league in shots on goal. Didn't know that. But look, the way that we've been watching this team play, and I just listened back to our episode last week, and we were saying, look, they're going to be a pain in the ass to play against, right? And I think we were talking about goalies at the time and how Dan Vladar needs to see the bulk of the starts because he's not giving up more than 2 goals until recently. And the Flyers are going to have to win these 3-2 games, 2-1 games, because they're not scoring yet. Look, the talent is absolutely there, right? With the Zegrases, the Konechnys, the Brinks, the Forsters, who's out right now, the Tippets, the Michkovs. They have guys that can put the puck in the net. I have to assume that once they figure this whole thing out, the offense will come. Maybe not 5-on-5, and that would be fine. If you can go through a game even, like let's say 1-1, 5-on-5 or whatever, and have a really good PK and a really good top third of the league power play, I'm talking like top 10, top 12, you're going to win most games, right? So be a bitch to play against, even strength, and then dominate special teams is how I think they're going to have to go about things here. And if you have a guy like Trevor Zegras, feeding Konechnys and Brinks and Forsters and Yorks and Drysdales, your power play should be pretty good. And they look like they're a bitch to play against on the PK. I'm not as worried as a lot of the Twitter guys are, Jack. How about you?
I never am. And some of the Twitter stuff gets me riled up. It's, we're just in a world now where you can react to like literally anything the second it happens. And I think that's what a lot of it is. When I still try to understand, not only are there young players on this team still developing, it's a brand new coach with a brand new coaching staff and a brand new system. Even the goalies are brand new. Like, there's so much brand new to all this that it's like, I get it. They said they want to turn the corner and win. That doesn't mean they're going to do it right out of the gate. I'm actually satisfied with their overall record. I think that the biggest thing that irks me so far this season was this past weekend. Not even the Toronto game as much, because that's a team that haven't been playing as great lately, but they still got the firepower there. The Calgary game really irked me so much. And I think they responded to that game last night against a much better team, especially offensively, tenfold. Now, a second period was something to forget about, but they didn't lose their nerve either. They came back and won that game. And kudos to Gurbankin for getting his first goal of the season, of his career, really. But yeah, like I think after every win, it's like, oh my God, Brink and Cates and whoever else, Zegras, they're the greatest. And then after every loss, it's this defense sucks. They're Konechny and Michkov are dragging us down. And like, it's everything is not going to go 82-0. Like it's a building process. Now, are they boring to watch a lot? Yeah, unfortunately. And Tocchet spoke to this a little bit, particularly after the Calgary game. I don't think it's intended to be that boring. Say what you will about that. Kind of put it on the players. They went from how many shots they have in the Calgary game? Like 14, something terrible.
Rough. Yeah, that was rough.
Well, how many did they have against Montreal? Like 42 or something. Like, he literally said, I'm telling them a certain way to play. I'm not forcing them to dump it in. Like, but I do want them to dump it in sometimes. There was a willingness to go to the gritty areas was not there in the Calgary game. Well, if you're dumping it in and not going and getting it, that's going to be a pretty boring game. And the exact opposite happened against Montreal. They were doing it. They were going to the net. kudos to Coots for going to the net. Kudos to Coots. I like that. For going to the net, and it immediately leads to a goal. I mean, they explode for 3 goals in the first period. Now, they were playing a good team, so the second period is a whole nother story, but it was a completely different game yesterday than it was against Calgary. And a lot of that is he has a system, and it's not exactly run and gun like Torts, but he can't play for the players either. There's a perceived defensive element to it, of course, but if they play a particular way offensively, there could be a lot more offense. And sometimes some of the star players kind of get you out of a funk when they just make something happen, which most great teams have. So it's a combination of a lot of things. Last night was a great example of that. Sunday, unfortunately, was an example of when people don't really show up to play. And he even said he felt bad for the fans that night, and they should have. That was one of the worst games I saw this year. I think it might have been, honestly.
Yeah. So here's where I'm going to come from with this stuff, because I had to look some things up. Currently, the Flyers are 8th place in the conference. I know that they do the things differently for the wild card and whatnot, but they're 4 points out of the top seed in the Eastern Conference. I know they're 7-5-1, and I know Montreal is being talked about as this, big red machine, but they're only 2 wins better than the Flyers this year. 4 points. All right. Now they might be doing it a little bit more fun as they've scored 10 more goals than the Flyers, but the Flyers have given up 6 less. I would rather focus on that, right? When it comes to the playoffs, what wins championships? Defense, right? And the Flyers have the talent to eventually start putting the puck in the net. I have to assume that that's going to come, right? Like if we're looking at Forster as a 30-goal guy, Tippett 30-goal guy, Konechny potential 30. I mean, all potential. Let me just say that. They have at least 4 potential 30-goal guys. And I see Zegras, a guy that can put up 60+ assists. They're going to have to score goals for that to happen. So, I get it. Look, if they would have won Sunday, I guarantee none of this would have come out, because they had such a great homestand month at home in October. They were 6-1 at home before that weekend. Their only loss coming to the Winnipeg Jets, who are Stanley Cup contenders. They lost to a better team Saturday night in Toronto, who I know they were off to a rough start. Better team than the Flyers, in my opinion. Sunday left a really bad taste in everybody's mouth, because it kind of reminded everybody of the Flyers of, the last few years. It looked like they took a step back kind of thing, right? Out of 13 games this year, I can only think of that Sunday game where it looked like, man, this team sucks, right? So I'll give them a pass for that game, right? So even with that, 6-3 at home to start the year, that's a pretty good home record. They've been not good at home. I don't know if we remember that. The Flyers have sucked at home. And for the most part, they took care of business, aside from Sunday night. Okay. They come back out Tuesday night to play Montreal, who, as mentioned, are top of the conference. And the Flyers jump out to a 3-0 lead. I think they held Montreal to under, I might be wrong, under 20 shots for most of that game. And as you mentioned, they had over 40 shots against Montreal. They needed to win in a shootout. They gave up 4 straight goals. They could have easily rolled over. Like, shit, we were up 3-0 and we're losing 4-3 heading into the third. We can't beat these guys. Instead, held strong, tied the game up, drug it into a shootout. Boom, 3-0 in shootouts this year, the Philadelphia Flyers. I would rather focus on those things. Like, if we want to focus on goals for, and I know everyone's upset with the shots, the New Jersey Devils currently lead the Atlantic Division. 8 more goals than the Flyers. 5 more against. +6. Flyers are +3. They're only 3 goals better than the Flyers. They lead the division. I'd rather look at that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Flyers have had the easiest schedule either. I mean, that's also the reason why I think Calgary really ticked people off. Oh, it's back-to-back it was the same for Calgary as well. I mean, I'm at a point where in the moment I get frustrated with things, especially last night in that second period. But at the end of the day, I look at it, I'm like, this is just not something that's going to happen overnight. No matter what management says, or they want to turn a corner, all that stuff. A lot of the young guys are doing a lot of this stuff. And again, Mishkov hasn't done anything really, not really, and God forbid he gets going. I look at the goaltending, which hasn't been as great as it had been, but still better than anything we had in the last couple of years.
Sure.
I look at like growth. I look at individual growth because I know any year I know we're not going to win at anything. We truly have no chance. I'm looking at growth. Yes, I want them to win as a team and not just be losing all the time. But ultimately, I want to see growth in individual players. And I'm seeing that in a lot of players. I'm not seeing it in all players, and there's some concern here with certain players. But I am seeing it in a lot of players. And that ultimately, that's really what matters. And I think they're going to get used to the system. I think they're going to figure things out. But I don't know who it was. It may have been Konechny, but they were saying we're trying to find that balance of like when to play, play defensively and be, and then take chances, when to dump the puck in and when to enter the zone with possession, things of that nature. So it's early. It's 12. It's going to take more than 12 games for sure. And we're going to get there. And I do think they will. I think certain guys will break through. I don't think they're going to start, going on this crazy winning streak or anything like that. I'm hoping the record's obviously better than it was last year. I'm hoping they are in playoff contention come March, come trade deadline. That's the plan anyway. It's not really about trades in this season, so I don't have to worry about trading anybody away or acquiring anybody. It's attracting a free agent or attracting a trade candidate who will sign with you long term. And that's ultimately what we're looking for. And obviously, Mishkov's a huge part of this. And we're hoping I don't think anybody was expecting that. And all these excuses seem to be coming out, and that's concerning. But you know what? It's all process. Growth is never a straight line. Everybody's different. So I'm just not there yet. I'm not in panic mode or anything. I know sometimes during the games I can get a little bit down, but when I process everything and look at it, I'm like, I look at the record and how things were last year and who's doing what. I really can't complain.
Yeah, it's like watching we're watching for growth, and through 13 games, I think we're seeing that from different players. We're seeing different spurts from different guys. And I'm still looking at the goals for thing here, and I'm looking at teams that we expect to be in the playoffs: the Washington Capitals, New York Rangers, Florida Panthers, Tampa Bay Lightning, all with less goals than the Flyers in the Eastern Conference right now. You said it with that Konechny quote. They're still learning. They're still figuring it out. When to play more offense, when to play more defense, yada yada. There's a lot of time in the season to, be angry and be frustrated. Not there yet, Yeah,
it's just the age we live in where you react instantly to everything. It's tough to follow me on Twitter sometimes when I'm watching a game live because and I admit it, I'm completely irrational.
It's fun though.
That's the word. Oh yeah, that's part of it. But I am irrational. I'll say things that I don't really mean in the moment. But when you sit back and look at it all, it's not that bad. I just don't think it's that bad. Yes. Do I want Michkov to break out of this slump, wherever you want to call it? Of course. Last year was so much fun because of him. And he felt he could do anything at any time. And this year is kind of the opposite. I'm like kind of clenching, like, please don't make a mistake. I don't want to hear about you on Twitter. And I don't want to have my own personal issues and worry about you. And, it's a process. So we'll get there.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let me X out of this sharing thing.
If I had to make any complaints, I will say some of the lines that Tocchet puts out there are a little baffling. I don't like the other night. I mentioned it earlier, Mishkov with Dvorak and Obels, and then you don't play him that much. It's like, okay, well, you say you want him to play through it. How exactly is he supposed to play through it there? But then again, you come back. How about that pass in overtime too? It could have been too many men. They could have just given up. It was just ridiculous. But some of the stuff. I'm like, why they should keep him and Zegras together. If you want to pull that offense out of him and maybe get him going, Zegras is killing it right now. Now Zegras can fit on other lines, sure. Although him at center right now is not looking too pretty, especially in the faceoff dot. I think he was over 8 in the first period or something. That's wild. But some it just doesn't seem like it's an optimal lineup at times. And then you're not getting the best out of some of your players based on how you're deploying. Like once Forrester went out of the lineup, it was like, Jesus, what? Like, you know, and I thought there was some energy at first, and then you saw how bad things were after that. So I don't know if that's more of Tocchet not knowing the players as much as like previous coaches had or whatnot, but it's definitely, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's definitely been a little bit, if I were to complain about anything, I would go there first. I do not like some of the lineups.
Did he play with them against Montreal?
Who did he start against Montreal? Obels wasn't in the lineup. I think Gurbankin came in, and then there was a time where it's like he disappeared and Hathaway was there, and then he came back. So and you know what? It's like some guys, they have that higher potential skill like Gurbankin, but if they make a mistake, they're getting benched. Not the whole game, but they're missing time. So you know, it's tough. I can't remember who Mishkov played with. I was oh God. I don't think it was the same lineup. It's not like Obels was in the lineup, but I don't remember exactly what it was.
That's like, I get it. I guess if I had to do like devil's advocate type thinking or come up with a reason why, like we know that Zegras, I mean, we've seen that Zegras can carry a line offensively, right? Do we think that Michkov can do that? Do we think that he's going to be that type of player?
I think eventually he'll be a player who drives play. It just, you know, you kind of got to, I don't want it out of his system completely, but to leave in the zone early stuff, he's got to be more
like a team guy.
He's got to be a team guy, but he's got to pick and choose when to do that. Because I like that you do that. You can't abandon defense. Yeah, opportunistic. That's the word. You have to be more opportunistic with that. Yeah. You know, and you know when it's safe to go or when you should go and whatnot. It's tough. There's some lines I see. It's like you see a line like Zegras, Mishkov, and Tippett, and you're like kind of excited for what they can do offensively, but defensively, there's like almost no responsibility. Yeah. And so then you wind up with a line with like Zegras, Dvorak, and Tippett. It's like, first off, what do you do with Tippett? Well, you've got to put him a high skill. You got to get somebody to get in the puck. So I get why Zegras is on that line. And you can't really sell out offensively, put Mishkov there because they're going to get killed. The puck goes the other way. Yeah. So that's where Dvorak comes in. Plus faceoffs as well. Yeah. They want a possession, you know. And so it's there are some players in some square holes, round pegs and square holes here. And I keep coming back to wingers need to be moved, and Tippett makes the most sense. But I don't know. It's a little bit of that, but sometimes I see what he comes out with, and I'm like, why? Why is Obels on the line with Mishkov? Like, come on. And it's like, it's not like, you know, Coots or somebody's a center. It's Dvorak. It's just weird.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I feel like we've seen this story before with past coaches. You have to assume he's waiting for him to play his way on to a top six line.
Right? I mean, there's a little bit to that, but then it's like he cuts the ice time. So it's like, it's tough. I get what you're saying, but at the same time, it's like almost counterintuitive. You know?
Yeah. Look, I haven't been impressed watching Michkov. And I'm not saying that like I'm the coach and that you're wrong and I'm right. I'm not saying that at all.
Right.
But it's like some of the guys that we're watching out there look okay. They look good enough to probably Brink. It would like it's crazy to say.
That should be their top line. I mean, I get
it. Bobby Brink looks way better than Michkov right now.
Not even close. Yeah.
And look, even watching Michkov last year, I don't know that Michkov's like a high energy type of guy. And maybe Tocchet's trying to bring that out of him. Even when Michkov was in Russia, he wasn't like the high energy kind of guy. I don't know. Maybe Tocchet's trying to pull something out of him that I'm not sure is honestly there with Michkov. Like he's not going to blow anybody away with his speed. He's going to be, I don't want to call Michkov a power play merchant because he's not, as we talked about.
In the NHL, that's for sure.
Yeah, in the off season. And he can find his own shot. He can create his own shot inside the blue line. We just haven't seen, like Trevor Zegras came into the season prepared and he's free flowing, confident style, looks great on the ice. And Michkov's kind of looked like the opposite to me. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's part of it. I think is confidence. I think Michkov's in his own head. He's not playing like he was last year because the competitiveness was his thing.
Yeah.
He's not a high energy guy who's going to run around hitting everybody, but he wants to win. He wants to win battles and he wants to score. And he's just making such bad decisions. Like he's forcing things like that pass. Like he looked up and just saw somebody there. It's like, didn't matter if the guy was looking at him or not, or getting off the ice. He's that makes sense.
He wouldn't have done that last year.
Right. Exactly. I just think, he's getting on a little bit of a run and start feeling better about himself and whatnot. It happens to everybody. It is what it is. But, he's our guy. So you're going to worry tenfold.
So Briere said something interesting on the Nasty Knuckles podcast he was on this week in reference to Michkov in a sophomore slump. And look, I can kind of put myself in his shoes here. I played at the highest level I played was college soccer, right? So I can understand this quote a little bit. You make the team your freshman year or your rookie year and you play well. You come into the second season and you think it's going to be just as easy. You think it's going to be easy. I already made this team. I already put up 63 points. I can waltz right in and do it again. No, it's actually the opposite. People know who you are now. They know what you're capable of. They're going to be looking for you on the ice. You're going to have to work harder to score 63 points again. And then who knows what happened in the offseason. I don't feel like talking about it because I think the whole thing's a little shady and it just annoys me. They said he was behind the 8 ball. He just might have that whole sophomore slump thing going on, and it's going to whatever, man. Like it kind of bugs me to even talk about because we were both the whole fan base was excited to watch Michkov put up 80 points this year, 30 plus goals, yada yada, dominate on the power play, and he looks out of sync, and it sucks to watch, And people are saying he's coming back into his zone. And maybe I'm just watching a different game. Haven't seen it yet, really,
I mean, that and just throw in, and you're absolutely right. But just throw in there that he's going to be 21 in like a month.
Yeah, it's true.
That's super young.
Mm-hmm.
He's not from this country, and I always say that. It feels like an excuse, but it's a factor. Maybe it's system too. It is a factor. New system. New coach. He's only
2 years, yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's true too. I mean, there's a lot to consider here, but ultimately, I really do think it was the offseason stuff. What you just said about look what I did last year. I can kind of do it this year, and now they're making it feels like excuses. You don't really know what's true and what's not, but I do think he looked a little bit bigger. But I thought he was trying to put on muscle.
Yeah.
I maybe I just misread that.
Too much of that Dubai chocolate or whatever the hell they got over there.
Yeah, sometimes you just hit a wall. So
all right, let's move on. I'm sorry.
At the end of the day, if this whole season and he scored 63 points last year, if he only scored 42 this year, that would be a huge drop back and people would be in full blown panic mode. And I think I would be a little bit too.
Yeah.
But in the back of my mind, I would still be like, look, that guy's still there. Look at Zegras, his last 2 years, what he did. He was on the cover of the game, for God's sake. Not everybody is Crosby or Kucherov or whoever, where they look at Nathan McKinnon, look at his early career. He didn't just kill it from day one.
Sure.
He was good. Don't be wrong. He didn't freak out. Everybody's different. So don't lose your shit.
That's true. Yeah. I think it's fair to say I'm not worried about Michkov. I am annoyed though. That's just the kind of feeling I have. There's something in my skin about this, there's something that's not sitting right. But anyways,
well, look, it's where we're at. We're not at the point where we look back and laugh. We're here now, and that always sucks.
You know who this all comes back to, Jack? Danny Briere sabotaging this team, damn it, and sabotaging his own career.
That jerk off.
Why would he do that? So I didn't read this article. I found out who wrote it, and I don't want to name him on the show.
Oh shit!
Not to be number one, I don't want to be a jerk. Number two, I don't think he should get any sort of recognition for writing this kind of thing. I just think it was a stupid thing to put out. Jack, you read it. You kind of want to talk about it a little bit?
I skimmed through it because everybody was making a big deal about it. Basically, Briere is sabotaging the Flyers and his own career. I believe I don't know if that was the title or the tagline, but that's the gist of it.
Okay.
And obviously, it brings up Cutter. It brings up the firing of Torts and the hiring of Tocchet, his system. It's been 12 games.
Yeah.
12 games. and just from the get-go, reading the title, I'm like, does he not know that Zegras was, and Vladar for that matter, were his off-season acquisitions, and this wasn't an off-season they were supposed to do much?
Yeah.
According to it's the Martone, all the draft picks he acquired, going to get in Martone, and we'll see what he got an incredible prospect pool at the very least.
Why would you mention those things?
You got Zivragan coming, you got other guys coming. Like Vladar's looking pretty decent right now. Drysdale's looking a lot better this year than he has since he's really in the league. York's coming into like I don't understand what he gave up to get Zegras was peanuts. Like I'm like, what? Sabotaging what? What did he do that you can argue? How he handled the Cutter situation? Fine, make an argument for that. How is that sabotaging the team and his own career? He had to trade him regardless of what he did and how he felt. So what did he do horribly? What has Briere done badly? You mean trading Provorov for Sean Walker and a first-round pick and flipping Walker for a first-round pick? That was a bad move. That's sabotaging the team. What? I don't know. I almost thought it was like April Fool's early. And maybe I missed something. It was. I'm gonna be honest. It was downright dog shit stupid. If you read it, you should read it as a parody. Like it is. I don't know if it's somebody brand new or something, and they're dipping their toes. But from what I understand, who released it, it was a pretty reputable source, or whoever writes for that site or whatever they are. Yeah, it was really dumb. It was so dumb, and it made no sense.
I can't imagine being the editor and seeing that, reading it and saying, this will get clicks. Like, you know what? That's the problem today, I think. What's going to get clicks instead of clicks? This is a well thought out.
We all remember the Kolosov abandoned in where the hell, how many clicks that got and all the controversy that brought in. It just backs up what you're saying.
Yeah, it's tough. And I just want to say this. Briere's done, I think, as good a job as any other NHL GM in fixing the Flyers. Like, I think we forget just how in shambles this team was at the end of Chuck Fletcher's tenure here. It was always going to be a slow process. They were in cap hell, had to wait for cap to open up. The Flyers, in my opinion, are not a destination team. So they have to draft talent. They drafted players like you said, Jack Martone, Michkov, numerous amounts of players they've drafted. They traded, and the Trevor Zegras trade is a franchise-altering trade. And people want to talk about Cutter Gauthier, and this is what pisses me off, right? Because it's always, and I don't know if it's just society or if it's just like a human condition type thing. It's always look over there. Look what they have. Look what they're doing. We have Trevor Zegras has this 15 points in 12 games, one less point than Gauthier. We have guys that can put the puck in the net. We needed a Trevor Zegras, and we got him. Look at what we have here. Things are growing here. Things are building here, brick by brick. Flyers didn't pay me to say that. That's their little hashtag logo, whatever the hell it is. Things are happening here. I'm looking at what's happening here. Good for Cutter Gauthier. Fine. You might look, if he has a great career, good for him. And if you don't hope he has a good career, I understand that. That's fine. The Flyers have something cooking here, and it's going to take time. It's growing. And another thing that we can look at, and I'm not trying to change the conversation. I'm going to share the screen. But Briere's not only building up the Flyers, he's building up the Phantoms too. After tonight, I think they're going to win this game. I hope I don't jinx them. Alex Bump, by the way, his third goal of the season tonight, making it look a little easy the last couple games. The Phantoms are going to go to 7-3-1. Briere's made 3 trades this year to help boost the Phantoms. Tucker Robertson from Seattle, who's got 6 points in 6 games. This Carl Grunstrom guy who they got as a toss away, as a throw in the Ryan Ellis trade, the Ryan Ellis contract trade. I think he had a game tying goal over the weekend and a game winning goal the night before. Christian Kyrou, 3 points in 2 games. He's making significant moves throughout the organization, So if you want to focus on, one thing to make yourself look righteous and make yourself look like the smartest guy in the room and, dog him for hiring Tocchet, who was a sought after coach, right? Which if you want to die on that hill, go for it. If you want to dog Briere for the Gauthier thing, go for it. If you want to get on him about drafting Luchenko over Bouillon, go for it. Okay. Big picture though, he's doing a great job. All right. Everybody's going to make mistakes. Just the way things are. But I think big picture, the ship is heading in the right direction from top to bottom, in my opinion. What do you think?
I mean, there's you're just talking about the prospect pool, and the prospect pool looks fantastic. Ultimately we'll see. I don't know if there's any like studs down there, but there's plenty we want to see make their way. And we haven't even mentioned Martone. There's plenty of guys who are around. There's Vansagi. Murtaugh was mentioned earlier. There's plenty. Jet, his whole situation, people are a little down on him right now, but ultimately I think there's something there. He's just super young. We have what we have now, and there's a ton that's coming, and not all of them are going to make it, which means we have assets to move for something we need. And it's looking more and more like if we're going to add to this team, it's going to be via trade. We have plenty to trade. Before we had nothing.
Yeah.
They even made an asset out of Risto. Risto, I know he hasn't been around, but he was looking at an albatross of a contract. Now he's a valuable player. You say that about several players, Sanheim. He was trying to be traded to St. Louis just to get him out of here. Now he's going to make Team Canada, is one of their top defensemen. He's looking like a top 20 defenseman. There's been a huge turnaround with how things were and where they're at. And I get it. We don't have Cutter Gauthier anymore. But, we have something. We have what we have, and there's a lot to look forward to. It's just going to take time. That's what it is. We've waited so long before because of Hextall, farting into his chair, Fletcher fumbling the ball, having to technically rebuild again, or whatever you want, retool, whatever you want to call it, and it's so it's been a long time. I get that. It's been a long time.
Yeah. People are frustrated.
They're ready to win now. And I think we go into this year and okay, it's time to win. It's but not like that. They're not going to be Stanley Cup contenders. They're hoping to be on the playoff bubble come March. That's a big difference. So yeah, if you can sit back and look at it all and just,
it's hard. It's hard to be patient.
But to say that Briere's sabotaging the team in his career,
asinine. One of the most one of the most stupidest things I will ever see. Not just this year. It's one of the most asinine things you'll see. You mentioned Martone, Jack. Big game this weekend. Massive game if you're a college hockey follower. Michigan State, number 1 ranked Michigan State, is taking on number 3 ranked now, Penn State and Gavin McKenna in back-to-back games, Friday night, Saturday night. Put it on your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. Could be 2 of the biggest games of the year. Looks like there's not a time yet for this game for Friday night.
That's this Friday.
And then we have Saturday. Let's see what time. Saturday's to be determined as well. So not 1, but 2 games of Porter Martone, Shane Vansagi going up against Gavin McKenna. And I think Jackson Smith also plays for Penn State. I think.
Yes. Yep.
So a lot of hockey to be played. Let's see the Flyers schedule while we're at it. Since this is a Flyers podcast.
Nashville, Ottawa coming up.
You got it up in front of you?
No, it's just off the top of my head. I'm going to the game Saturday. Pretty sure they play Nashville tomorrow, Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow.
They do. They have that revenge game for Nashville. Flyers beat them at home.
We got our revenge game against Ottawa.
We do. Okay, so the Flyers won 4-1 against Nashville, lost 2-1 against Ottawa. Yeah, that'll finish up the week. Then they have 3 nights off. How about that?
Don't like that
8
at all.
o'clock, 8 o'clock game tomorrow night. So that'll be fun. It's a little bit of I guess, a later start, but that should be a dub. I expect to see Damsladar in the net there. I expect to see Damsladar in the net the next 2 games. But look, if they win these next 2, you think everyone kind of shuts up for a little bit? Flyer, if they start out 9-5-1 in their first 15 games, what the hell can you be upset about?
They won't shut up. They'll just be speaking a different tune.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Flyers Purgatory will always stay true to himself. I don't think he'll change his tune. Yeah. But the overall general consensus will be like, oh, it won't be like, oh my God, we suck. Everything's wrong. Tocchet system sucks. It'll be like, oh my God, they have something here. Look at this. Look at that. Hopefully Zegras keeps it going too, because he's been so exciting.
Yeah, for sure. Mentioned a few times, 15 points, 12 games. Does he have 20 points by the time they come home and play Edmonton next Wednesday? Maybe. I think he might.
Damn. That would be something. I got to try to remember you said that. Oh my God.
20 points in 14 games at that point, I think.
That would be amazing.
I don't see the Z train stopping anytime soon. So, okay. I don't know, Jack, you want to give game predictions or?
Okay. I mean, oh man, I'm going to the game Saturday, so that's a win. So yeah. I'm thinking maybe an overtime loss to Nashville.
Someone's definitely scoring a hat trick Saturday.
Hopefully, Zegras is going to assist on all 3 of those. Yeah. Hopefully it's Michkov. That would be great. I think a 6-1 win against Ottawa.
Okay.
Then I'll even throw in probably hold their own against that. They usually play Edmonton earlier in the season pretty well, but I don't know how that's going to go. I'm hoping for a point out of that game.
Oh, that's a Wednesday game. We might have to do a Tuesday show next week.
We might have to.
All right, we'll see if we can swing there. Yeah, I think 2 wins as well. 5-4 win over Montreal, 40+ shots. I think, I don't know, maybe we got their attention a little bit, or Tocchet got their attention a little bit. Yeah, I don't see Nashville as a trap game. I think the Calgary game maybe woke them up a little bit.
Hopefully. Yeah, we'll see. I hope you're right about that.
Yeah. So we'll see what they do. We could be looking at a 9-5-1 Flyers team next week. Hopefully not 7-7-1 or anything like that. So, all right, we're at the end of our show here. Jack, you want to do the read real quick?
You know what? Why not?
All right, I gotta take a second to get that up, and let me get the read going here. Oh, damn it! I think I just deleted something I didn't want to delete.
Ready when you are, Jimmy.
Go ahead. Oh, floor's yours.
All right. Floor's mine. All right, guys. Quick timeout, because if you're a diehard Philly fan, you need to hear about this. Fans of Philly is the ultimate way to hit the road with the Birds, the Flyers, the Phils, and even the Sixers. We're taking full travel packages, your hotel, your transportation, and yes, the tailgates that are basically legendary at this point. All taken care of for you. No stress. No scrambling for tickets, no worrying about where you're staying. You just show up, throw on your jersey, and enjoy the ride with fellow diehard Philly fans. So whether it's flying out to see the Eagles take over an opponent's arena, cheering on the Flyers in enemy territory, or making it a full weekend getaway for your Phillies and Sixers games, Fans of Philly has you covered. Trust me, this is the closest you'll get to feeling like one of the players themselves as they roll into town, because the takeover is real. So check them out Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, and start planning your next Sports Philly road trip today. That's Fans of Philly, phfansofphilly.com, where every away game feels like a home game.
Well done, Jack. And look, okay. I forgot one of those games is an Anaheim game. Maybe we got to fly out there. I don't know. Some HW.
Oh, you get out to Anaheim. I will say a lot of bad words if that happens.
I don't think you can curse in California, so I don't know. You might end up in jail.
What about? Are they going to cancel me? Fine by me.
Really? I don't know. Yeah, you might. I mean, I almost said the R word. Who knows?
I forgot we went live early. I said it myself.
All right, we're going to wrap up, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed the episode tonight, make sure to subscribe. Help us continue our quest for 2,000 YouTube subscribers. Last I checked, I think we were at 1,735, something like that. So maybe we can get a little bump here at the end. Do us a favor. Leave us a like. Drop some comments. Let us know what you thought about the episode or some of the topics. We love responding and reading those. You can follow us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Set alerts so you're the first to know when we drop a new show. For all of our latest episodes, you can obviously find us on YouTube, Spotify, or an Apple Podcast. For Jack, I'm Jim. We're going to be back next Tuesday, I think. So mark your calendars for the night change there. For Jack, I think I already said that. For Jack, I'm Jim. We'll catch you next time on HW Hockey. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching HW Hockey. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.